What up, Houston, Bayou City boys? But we're talking about free agency. The Rockets have been said that they're going to be going after veteran help to help this young team. They're going to be spending money out. They have a lot of money to spend. So they threw a few names out that NBA scouts are saying that we are going to be going after. And I guess, Zach, let me pick your brain on how do you feel about some of these names. I'll throw a name
Shoot.
out and we can go off of it. The first one that I definitely was not happy with, we'll go with Dylan Brooks, Memphis Grizzlies.
Absolutely not. That dude's one dumb decision away from playing in China.
He,
I just don't want that around our team because we already are kind of fearful about like Kevin Porter anyway.
I was thinking of Kevin Porter, Dylan Brooks in the same locker room, bumping heads. I do not want that. I would stay that far away from our team. We already call
But
it the
all,
Goon Squad. Like I don't need
but
that.
also like by oh shit by position, it's like where would we play you? Because we don't need you. We have guys who could play the two and the three. So
Yeah,
like I just don't know where we would play you.
yeah.
If I'm looking for free agents, I'm looking more along the lines of like a point guard or a center.
Well, we can talk about point guards. So we're off of the Dylan Brooks train, thankfully. Point guard has been named is Fred Van Vliet, Toronto,
Mm-mm.
because I believe he's a free agent, so you can just sign him
Yeah,
outright. But he does want a good chunk of money.
I actually felt like he's been digressing the past couple years,
Yeah,
and like you're more of I feel like you're more of a score first point guard anyway, and that's not what we need because we
yeah.
have scores. We need a real point guard on our team. So I have to pass on Fred Van Vliet. It makes me nervous. Like that's why I don't want Nick Nurse because then you'll get players like Van Vliet.
I did see a thing on Nick Nurse. It was saying that if Nick Nurse was to become our coach, and this is going to disgust you because they had
I
it to
know what
where,
you're about
yes,
to say.
where they were trade for Siakam because that's his boy. And this is the reason why I don't like Nick Nurse. Also, you lost to the Chicago Bulls. I don't want that. You can take that somewhere else. Like,
He's terrible at making in-game adjustments.
yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean?
as far as point guards,
So when it pertains to point guards, and we're talking about bringing somebody in, are we only limiting ourselves to free agents, or are we considering a trade?
I mean, I think at this point trades are going to happen, so we can do that too.
So there's one person that I would strongly like the Rockets to bring in, and that's
Okay.
Alex Caruso.
Ooh, I like that pick.
He
And they're
has
going to
the
probably blow that
experience.
up.
The dude's super smart. He's the son of a coach. Like he's just a culture guy, and no matter who comes into coaches, he's gonna be able to fit in. And like that's just the kind of player we need on our team.
Yeah. And he does everything, like you said, he does everything that you don't want to do, that grit.
Hmm.
And I think that would be for sure. Going back on the Brooks thing, I kind of didn't want him either because I feel like you already get a player like that in Jay Sean Tate, just as a different
Hmm.
size. But the Caruso, man, I like that. I like that way better than signing any of these. I mean, the
Well,
top,
that's my point. Is you got picks to spend, you got players. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because it's like y'all are not going anywhere now anyway. So like it sucks, but would you give up a player like a Jay Sean Tate for even
for
though
him.
they'd probably want more like a Kenyon Martin Jr.?
For Caruso, I would only because we can't stay with youth only. We need vets and we need quality vets that are going to bring something to the table for these young guys to take that next step of. And what I'm talking about is those young guys of that. And with me, I like Kenyon Martin, but you've already been on the fence back and forth with you and your dad saying you want out, do a clean one.
I actually feel like he got his minutes and he shut up because
No,
I
he
think he
did.
was the most
Yeah.
consistent Rocket all year, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, he did. He did for sure. But I just, for me, it's like, I still think I need some vets in there. So if that's what it takes, I would do it. But if they don't want to, I understand completely.
To a
Because
lesser degree, another point guard I would be willing to go trade for would be like a McLaughlin, whatever from the Timberwolves.
yeah,
Like that, I like that guy. He's a really good point guard, and they're not using him right anyway. And I think we could get him cheap because they need picks anyway.
yeah, that is very true. Actually,
So I'm
Hmm.
cool with something like that. I mean, I don't know the free agency list, but I definitely don't want. I mean, free agents like, would you take a Patrick Beverly on?
I would bring him back. I mean, I think Pat Bev, he brings something to your team of
I
not.
think he'd be the perfect backup to be with the Goon Squad.
Yeah, I mean, because he don't take shit for nothing, and he's
No,
always out there. I mean, his teams when he gets there, he makes them better at somehow. I don't know what he does, but he gets some most of the time makes them better. I mean, that Timberwolves team pretty good. The Chicago Bulls team fooled everybody and beat Toronto. So I mean, you
yeah,
look at like the top point guards. It's Kyrie Irving, no thank you. Fred Van Vliet, no thank you. D'Angelo Russell, no thank you. And then it's
mm-mm.
Patrick Beverly. And then right after that, it's Russell Westbrook. We've already had that. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
And then Dennis Schroeder, Gabe
I actually
Vincent.
liked Schroeder when he was with us, but
Yeah.
he might be a little bit too expensive for us.
Javon Carter from Milwaukee.
I like him too. I'll take
I,
him, but I
I
don't think
do like.
Milwaukee's letting him leave.
Yeah, I don't think they are either. And then Trey Jones from San Antonio. And then Ao Deshunamu
The
from.
Sumo
Yeah.
Chicago. I like Ao. He's a good player. He's a little bit big. I always had him more of a two guard than a
But they
point
have
guard though.
him. He's a free agent. Kobe White's a free agent. So they have some stuff to figure out. But that's what I'm saying. I think Bev, for me, if we had to pick out of free agency, I would be cool with Bev bringing
Yeah.
some veteran help with it.
I just feel like also like I'm not gonna go sign a play. Like there's just people out there you can go get. Like Brooklyn's not using Patty Mills or Seth Curry.
Yeah.
So, those guys are there.
Yeah. No, I agree. Another name that was brought up is Cameron Johnson, Brooklyn.
As much as I like the dude, it's like you are what we already have. Like you're Tari Eason and Kmart and Jabari. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't have a spot for you right now.
Yeah. And I feel like if I get you want to get vets, but I feel like you can get vets at a different position.
Hmm.
Um, because that's probably one of our most clogged positions, the forwards right now
Yeah. Like
of
we're
what we
log
have.
jammed at that little
Yeah.
wing position, that versatile wing 3-4 kind of split.
Yeah. And then I guess we look at centers. Christoph Porzingis, of course, he's more of a power forward that they were bringing up, talking about him.
And if we get Victor, like we definitely don't need you.
Yes.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
be
what,
honest. If Porzingis wasn't injury prone, I would be on board with that. But I don't trust you to stay healthy.
well, we do have a Methodist, and usually Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, these guys, when they came to Houston, their injuries went away a bit. So it may
Do
be
that.
different for us. But then you look at the Yao
It's
Ming
not
Ball.
Methodist. It's freaking Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause they come down here and get that grease in them and the barbecue and shit, and then they just feel better.
I mean, we look at the centers, and there's not, I ain't gonna lie to you, there's not much. Brooke Lopez, I doubt he leaves Milwaukee.
Yeah, they're not cutting him loose.
Nikola Vucevic from Chicago,
No, I don't want. I don't
but
want because
he's
he's
all
gonna want
score.
money.
Yeah. And then it drops all the way down to Jacob Poltelil from
Jakob
Toronto.
Pertl.
Yeah.
Okay, Jakob Pertl would be a good one because he's a good shooter. He could protect the rim. He'd actually be a really good fit. I don't have a need for you on my team though. If I keep Sengun,
That is kind of true. Yeah. And then the fourth one, I know we definitely are going to say no to this. Christian Wood.
hell no.
And then fifth is Mason Plumley.
I like Plumlee.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Does his stuff. Nas Reed, number six.
I really like Nas Reed. Nas Reed is a good hooper. He's okay with being a backup, I think, but we'll give him starter minutes. The problem with Nas Reed, in my opinion, and I don't know if it's him or the team, is he'll play for 2 weeks where he looks like an all-star. It's like, what the hell, bro? And then he'll go 2 weeks where he don't do shit. Literally don't do shit. So
I mean, and you think about it, they really, I mean, not saying they don't have a need for him because we know Rudy and Carl Anthony Towns, but they're going to be stuck with those two. So they may
mhm.
lose out on Nas Reed. So I think that could be a really good one for sure. After that, number seven, Dwight Powell.
Nah, I don't like his
Um,
he needs a pass first point guard to set him up. He's a good player, but I don't want him.
and then number eight, Thomas Bryant from Denver.
Nah,
And then nine, Andre Drummond, Chicago.
nah.
And then number 10, Mike Muscala from Boston.
Nah.
Like I said, after that, it's pretty much older
So
vet.
like this is another play spot where it's like it might behoove us to go try to trade something.
Yes.
And
And that's what,
I'm not looking for the next Hakeem Olajuwon in this spot either. I'm just looking for somebody that's serviceable
yeah.
and is reliable. And a couple people come to mind. One of them is Jackson Hayes from the Pelicans. Like I like
Ooh,
his energy.
I
And
like
I
that.
feel like they're kind of giving up on him anyway
Yes.
because they play a small ball lineup. So Jackson Hayes could be available to us. My issue with him is he's another one of those guys where he don't know how to behave sometimes. And if you can't behave, this is not the city to live in.
Definitely not. Just ask James Harden.
And then I like Kai Jones from the Hornets. Came from University of Texas. Like I think he's underdeveloped over there, and we can get him on the cheap. He's
Yeah.
big, he's long, he's fast. He can get his own bucket. Somebody like that would be good for me.
Ooh, I
Length,
like
rim
that.
protection.
Hmm. That sounds really good, actually. Yeah, I think looking at free agency, everybody's, of course, Jalen Brown, which we both agree on. We don't need him. Um, a lot of these names, I just feel like they're big names and they're throwing them out at us. And they're like, oh, this is who they're going with. And it's like, that doesn't sound like a feasible move or a move that needs to be done, like type of stuff.
And I'm depending on what we do in the draft, which is why the NBA is better than anything because you literally get to do the draft before free agency. Like, say for instance, we go pick two, we take Scoot, we're still in need of a big. I know we've been called racist and shit because we don't like Sengun, but I'm seriously considering packaging something together and try to go get Bam Adebayo because I think Bam Adebayo with Jabari and Tari, man, that's a good lineup.
And as much as Miami's like, Bam is our future, they have to do something to change.
If Giannis comes back from this butt injury and they don't lose another game, like I don't see how Miami doesn't entertain the idea of a rebuild.
Yeah. Right. It's the perfect time. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, you can get rid of them. There you
It
go.
may be one of those scenarios where we have to do something we don't want to do, like take on Duncan Robinson's money. But to get Bam Adebayo, I would do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe two first round picks, Alperen Sengun and somebody. You know,
Ooh.
I would entertain that. Would you give up Kevin Porter Jr., Alperen Sengun, and two first round picks for Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson?
Yes.
Me too. I would
In
do
the
that in a
heartbeat.
heartbeat.
I get it. People are gonna be like, "Oh hell no, he's this and that." I know. We need vets. We need some production now. Bam has proven he can do stuff on the defensive side, the offensive side, something we don't have. And yeah, I'm okay with it. I know most of you are not going to agree with us. Some of you may agree
I
with
mean,
us.
it's a little bit out there to think that
Yeah.
we would do that, but it's still fun to think about.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Like I said, I mean, and I think that's the one thing though. As a GM, like we're not GMs, but as a GM, you're gonna look at all avenues of how can I make this team better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so,
Because you got to assume that the West is going to get bigger. Chet Holmgren's coming back next year.
yes,
Who knows where Victor's going to land? If he lands on
and
San Antonio, you got to play his big ass.
Suns get Durant a whole year.
Yes.
And I said, Golden State, we don't know what they're gonna do yet. We don't know what other trades, what free agents are going. Does Dallas figure their shit out? Yeah, it's
You
gonna
could
be a
even go. You could even go to Detroit, sorry ass, and try to pluck a big man off of that team.
where everybody goes
Freaking,
to.
Jalen Duren, Marvin Bagley. What's the other dude that's Golden State sent over there? Damn, the big man.
Golden State.
Yeah, they sent to Detroit.
Oh, Wiseman.
Yeah, James Wiseman.
Yeah,
Like one of those guys to play. I think Wiseman would be a good center for Houston.
we wanted him too, but we didn't get him. So that was fun.
It was
Well,
fun.
Houston Rockets fans, let us know. Do you agree? Should we go and get some of these free agents? Are we tripping because we don't want any of these guys? Um, let us know what you think, man. Like, we're here. I know some of you don't agree with our Şengün trade talks and all this, but something's happening. Something's happening this offseason.
Something
Be
has to
ready.
happen. We suck.
Yes, we have to make changes. People are getting traded. I don't care if it's Şengün, if it's somebody's getting traded. There's too many people here, and they need vets. And as we went through, the vet pool is not the best, so they're gonna have to go and trade for some stuff, use some picks. But man, y'all let us know. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We'll be doing a lot more of this, especially Texans stuff, Astro stuff. Y'all can always catch us by you City Boys. But Rockets head coach, we're gonna be doing a video on that. Make sure y'all check it out.
Word.
And we out. Y'all have a good one, Houston.
Peace.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.